Hello friends, this is a video for January 2025. We will describe important celestial events and tell briefly what January brings to all of us. On the 13th is a full moon in the sign of Crab. Remember, this is that Cancer. We will say Crab here. And on the 29th is a new moon in Aquarius. Sun is until the 19th in Capricorn, then in Aquarius. Mercury in Sagittarius, Capricorn and Aquarius. Venus until the 3rd in Aquarius, then in Pisces. Mars until the 6th in Leo, then in the sign of Crab. Jupiter retrograde in Gemini this month. Saturn is in Pisces, Uranus retrograde in Taurus from the 31st, the last day. Then Neptune is in Pisces and Pluto is in Aquarius. The month of January begins with the bombastic, intense and violent opposition between Mars and Pluto, which is actually the continuation of the December last year. The opposition is exact and the first degree of Leo and Aquarius. Mars is retrograde, therefore very strong. In the video for the year 2025, I explained this opposition of Mars and Pluto and first degrees that are now important, so I'm not going to repeat myself here. Please listen to that video. But it's important to know that in the first week of January, this conjunction is still very strong. This opposition is very strong, and it will be repeated also in April 2025. Leo in the horoscope represents the archetype of a ruler, some ruler. Self-proclaimed ruler or the ruler that people elected. So this is the one who is able to lead others, or he is maybe the one who wants to lead others, even if he cannot do it. So any type of leader is Leo. And Aquarius represents people. People are extremely vulnerable, especially in some parts of the world now. And this opposition between Mars and Pluto in Leo and Aquarius generally represents the antagonism of the people and the elites, which is one of the most prominent themes of our time. The great struggle is now going on, even though these people, that does not have to be me and you, can be people who are really doing this for all of us because they understood that they have to do this job, otherwise people would be destroyed. We don't know them, but they are here in this world. Many of us don't know them, but they are doing that job for us. So it is a great struggle between people and leaders. And in many parts of the world, actually, there are some demonstrations and things like that. But it seems that it did not happen that many leaders were overthrown, as this transit would suggest. It's not that the battle is not finished. The opposition is there, but things are still not happening as they could. We will see during the year how that will be. I talk about Mars now and Pluto. I talk about that in the year, or in the horoscope for the year 2025, and I said that actually this opposition is happening as it was in 1940-42. Something is repeating. Pluto was from 1940 to 1942 in Leo, and now Pluto is in a position to that place where it was in the 40s of the last century. And the significance now of this opposition is different from that what was, this opposition makes this symbolism different from that what was in the Second World War. I explained in my video for 2025 that leaders had bigger power in the Second World War than now, and now people have greater power than leaders. Watch that video if you're interested. From the 7th of January, Mars is retrograde, but also retrograde, but in the sign of Crab. So now Mars becomes even self-destructive. Does not have that power and that strength as when it was in Leo. Of course, it can bring something good also, maybe protection, but usually this transit is bad. It's not good when the planet is in a weak position. Later, from the 24th of February to the 18th of April, Mars will still be in the sign of Crab, but direct, which is a little bit better. Very often we mention in the videos that the world can no longer function as before, because we have discovered that the powers that have been running the world, what they are doing. We know now that. And that makes them like less power, of course. We know their plans, especially from the year 2020. One of their plans is to reduce the number of people on this planet, using different methods for that. And this is happening, you know. And I often wonder why they don't liquidate us quickly, why they're doing these games through medias and other things. And later on I understood that actually this is how they are using our energy, because when we believe in their stupid stories in the medias, we are actually giving them energy. And they're not in a hurry, of course, to do this, to finish the plan. However, in our time, the key is that they have been discovered and we know what they're doing, which is the precondition for people's energy to start working for people and not for those leaders. Maybe can work even against them. But we still have square between Saturn and Jupiter. Pardon. We have this square in January, as we had it in December. It is in Pisces and Gemini, and I said it's connected with this fake news and everything that they're lying through medias. And they are brainwashing people still, of course. But this square actually says that something is happening, you know, that they cannot brainwash as before. So now it's very important actually to understand what they're doing, to talk about that to people. And it's also very important not to listen to any news, because even people who have critical approach to that what they are saying, if they are listening to the news, they can subconsciously integrate some of those fake informations. So if you want to know what they are speaking about, you can on the internet just see the titles and finish then with that. The inauguration of Trump is expected this month, but America has the opposition of Mars and Pluto, which means it's very vulnerable now. And also, which is very, very important, Pluto is approaching the south node of America. And this is one of those symbols that America is not going to be the world's biggest policeman anymore. Many expect big changes for the better with Trump's coming to power, but I don't think that is possible to change anything in a bigger way in America. He can say some slogans publicly and so on, but he's also controlled by other more powerful groups. And definitely we see through the horoscope of America that there is a great battle of the clans there for many years already. And this, what you saw in the title of the video, the sentence, "a kingdom for a horse," this exclamation from Shakespeare's play, which you probably know, this will be addressed to Trump by many, and this will actually make Trump very vulnerable and corruptible. So I don't think that it's possible that anything really good will happen. He will make business in a way, and whatever he does, actually, it will lead to that what is inevitable. We are now going to have some new geopolitical, economic situation. People will have different status in the world, and so on and so on. The lunar nodes move now from Pisces to Pisces Virgo axis, and this happens on the 12th of January. And nodes will remain on this axis until July 28, 2026. This means that the north node Rahu will no longer be in Aries, which will maybe slow down a little bit militant energy. But since we have other eclipses on this Aries Libra axis. The last one will be in Aries on the 28th of March. That means that we will have still this militant energy with us at least until the summer. The full moon is going to happen in the sign of Crab on January 13, and it occurs on the 23rd degree. This full moon completes something that has started in July 2024. Of course, it is important for the crabs themselves, especially those who have planets in the last decade of Crab. But unfortunately, on the full moon, Moon will be in conjunction with Mars, this very sensitive Mars. And this can be symbol of self-destruction, even some domestic conflicts, perhaps the single of the battles on the sea or some problems with water. Fortunately, the Sun and the Moon will have positive aspect to Uranus, even though Uranus is retrograde, but still there is a good aspect. And this good aspect indicates that there can be some original ideas that can prevent conflicts. And this works also for individuals as well as on the mundane level. New moon is in Aquarius on the 29th of January at the 9th degree. This new moon essentially creates a very harmonious pattern, thanks God, for the next 6 months. At the time of the new moon, air and water trines appear. Air trines will bring many happy circumstances to Aquarius, Gemini and Libra people. Especially Aquarians now have the opportunity to shine professionally, to realize themselves as they want, possibly to achieve some good financial transactions that will affect their lives for many years. Otherwise, air trines will often appear this year. These air elements allow us to think, to do research on intellectual level, in the intellectual field, to discover some natural or universal laws, to take astrology more serious. That will be more and more now. Then they allow us to, these air trines, to communicate, to travel, to connect. The air elements revives a person's mental energy and makes it mobile and adaptable. Air aspect also has to do with the innovations in the field of technique and modern technology, and it is quite possible that we will have now something new that will be good for people even. The Sun is in Capricorn until the 19th, then in Aquarius. The Sun is in a weak position in those signs. This period of the year is not good for inaugurations, usually not. If maybe sometimes when there are certain aspects and transits, but generally not. It is better time for introspection, from learning, for hard work, to some extent to a solitude, possibly for making plans for the future. The Sun is in Saturn, and when it is happening, it brings great wisdom and awareness of the limitations that we all have as human beings, and because we have our body. The Sun is also in Aquarius this month, quite long, 10 days. And this always reminds us that we are not alone in this world, but also that we are part of society. Furthermore, that we live in a holistic system where all parts are connected. Aquarius symbolizes the fibers that connect everything, like in space, in technology, in human body, and everywhere. In human body, Aquarius, for example, represents nerves and veins. Further, Aquarius is a symbol of the space in which we live and which is potentially unlimited. When on January 21st the Sun makes the conjunction with Pluto on the 1st degree of Aquarius, this makes it clear now that we are moving into new, much wider space, whether we understand it mentally, spiritually, or physically. Everything works. This conjunction may be related to the new experiments that crazy people are preparing for us. Maybe these drone attacks, maybe this connection with extraterrestrials, in a strange way, and the holograms there. But also, not only these crazy things can be with this can really mean that we are, as a humans, ready for the new type of connections. Furthermore, on January 29, Mercury makes the conjunction with Pluto in Aquarius, also on the 1st degree, which is similar to that what Sun did before. And this also says that we are, as a humanity, prepared for the new state of consciousness. And we will experience space and also time in a new way. One of the biggest subjects, of course, will be freedom. I don't know how it will concretely manifest, this is only a few days, but this is generally something that we are talking about, and it applies for everything that we are living now with Pluto in Aquarius. Many people will say, but what that is, I still go to the same job and live in the same house. Yes, but doesn't matter that you will still do this. These things are happening on many other levels, which are maybe not this basic level of for the humans. Venus is in a very strong position in Pisces this month, from January the 4th. She fortunately balances very heavy energies of Mars and Pluto and Saturn in Pisces. Venus also meets with Saturn from the 18th to the 20th. But almost all month there is a conjunction between Venus and Saturn. The contracts, agreements, and alliances that are created in January will potentially be very significant for the whole year. Why does it matter? Because later in the year we have challenging events through the sign of Pisces. We know that they can concern drugs, alcohol, healing, strange states of mind, invisible technologies, IT technologies, this is all Pisces. Secret actions that frighten or hypnotize the masses, and so on and so on. So yes, something about these subjects can happen during the year, and now is the time with Venus there to make some sort of protection. Of course, this Venus knows how to trade. She's very good in this here with Saturn. Although sometimes, yes, she gives kingdom for the horse. That can be that symbolism also, but very often she does it better also. So let's remember that in this month we are trading on all levels, not only with money. Venus continues to make very positive aspects on January 25th and 26th with Mars and Uranus, giving us entrepreneurship, as we said, and connections with people that we are very much attracted with. This can bring, those days, Venus can bring many pleasures to Taurus, Libra, and Pisces people, all to those who have Venus in high position in their horoscopes. Otherwise, it should be said that Venus with Saturn can give very good results. In astrological psychology, this combination is known also for bad results, in a way, saying, Actually, in astrological psychology, this combination opens the issue of personal shadow in love life. So if somebody has this in his horoscope, or if this happens in synastry horoscope, this can cause numerous frustration if person does not understand that he has certain person with him or with her to learn about himself, not because of love matters. This can be trouble, this combination, in a way. But if we know that we are learning, then it's not trouble. Yes, of course, something like that can be some these projections of shadow also with this combination of Venus and Saturn in January. On January 23rd, Mercury, that will be in Capricorn, forms trine with Uranus, which will be in Taurus. This is Earth trine. Uranus is stationary, a little bit tough, but okay, we have this Earth trine. It can be an interesting day that can bring something unexpected. Of course, Capricorns and Taurus of the last decade will feel this the most. Otherwise, Uranus is stationary for the most of the month, and from the 31st will be direct. The transit of Uranus through the sign of Taurus is slowly being exhausted, and in July, Uranus will move into Gemini sign for the first time after the year 1941. I spoke a lot in my videos about that, about Uranus in Taurus. I will not repeat myself here, but yes, now it is the end of that, and the end of one transit of one big planet through one sign can be especially important. So it's now important time for people who have planets in Taurus and Scorpio in the last decade especially, because they will be very much surprised now, even more than the year before. Although Uranus in Taurus brought numerous misfortunes, we also learned a lot. And one important thing is that money is slowly losing its meaning. The greatest values now will not be money anymore. It is becoming personal freedom, knowledge, and preservation of nature. And the Williams, the crazy people who rule the world, also know about that. That's why they push their quasi-green agenda. That's why they are saying you will have nothing and be happy. So I'm reminding you, let's watch for that what they're saying. Be careful about their news, because they're actually saying the same what we need to say, but they're going through this, their agendas. Actually, they want to control us. But we need these same topics because of other reasons, not because of the reason of control. We need those topics to solve and to understand, because we are changing as humanity. The month ends with a trine of the Sun and Jupiter in air signs. That is happening on the 30th. The Sun will be in Aquarius while Jupiter in Gemini. Neither planet is in a strong position, but still this is very important. This can bring original ideas, some sort of intellectualism. It's a good day to start writing a book or a new project, if you need to use mental energy to solving these things and something like that. January is still combative, as you see, but the air trines tell us that we will be able to think, and we will learn more and more now. Let's think, let's connect, let's learn together in order to defeat this great evil that is working against us for many centuries, even millennia. It is very important not to be afraid of their plans, but to know them roughly, to know those plans. It's still important to live our lives normally, as nothing is happening, because when we give them too much energy, they're kind of strong, as we were explaining in this video. Let's also not fall for nonsensical messages that are coming from alternative channels, because many people alternative channels spread like some completely stupid things because somebody was implanting into them these ideas, and they're maybe spreading them around unconsciously even. So everything for us is normal. We are traveling towards a better and more human world, and let's hope for that. And that's all for now. If you wish, you can order personal consultations with me. Check my web pages, symbolicthinking.net. These pages are not that rich in English like in other languages that I use, but you will see that I often offer consultancy based on astropsychology, spiritual astrology, and based on the method, the change of code, the change of perception. This is the method that helps us to work with our programs, our codes, our prejudice that we have, and we maybe don't need anymore. We need to get rid of them. If you like the video, sign up for my channel, and thank you very much for that. I wish everyone the best luck in January, and if you trade this month in any sense, do it wisely. And see you soon.